Hello, everyone. My name is Baylan Megino, and welcome to Global Dreammakers Leadership Summit for Spring 2022. Wow, this is a powerful summit. I have to tell you, the conversations I'm having before this summit have been phenomenal. So you guys, just strap on your seatbelts because this one's going to be a really good one. We are here with Dr. Doug Lehrer. Hello, Dr. Doug.
Hey, Balan. Hey.
I'm so excited because today you are going to share with us 3 secrets to activate your power, to heal your body, emotions, and life prosperity. We all need that. We all need that. So before we go into that, Doctor, I am going to let people know a bit about you, okay? Okay. So, Dr. Doug Lehrer is a master transformational healer, visionary, and innovator of cellular resonance cell to soul healing, a powerful energy medicine system that finds and clears the traumatic stress that gets stuck in your brain and body and deeply affects and interferes with your health, happiness, relationships, and success. Dr. Doug is the author of the 7 Quantum Healing Secrets. He's a board certified doctor of chiropractic and board certified quantum medicine doctor, American Naturopathic Board of Medicine. Dr. Doug is the founder of Lehrer School of Energy Medicine and Rich in Health Foundation, nonprofit that teaches doctors and healing professionals how to heal the stress, emotions, and epigenetic generational patterns to activate your brain, body, and soul's natural self-healing powers and embody your true self-purpose, prosperity, and love consciousness. I love that. Dr. Doug has performed over 500,000 patient healings worldwide. Practicing in Hollywood, California, Dr. Doug helps many change-making luminaries, entrepreneurs, professionals, executives, royalty, athletes, celebrities, actors, producers, directors, writers, parents, children, and teens. In other words, everybody. You can visit him at Dr. Doug at DrDougLehrer.com and get your free book and gift. And you can also sign up for his webinar called quantumhealingmastery.com/webinar. So see, we've gotten all of that out of the way because I just really want to hear all kinds of stuff from you. Dr. Doug, how did you start doing this work?
Well, a long, long time ago, when I was crippled with a cane, that's right. 2 herniated discs, MRIs and CAT scans to show me how real it was. And how many times do you go to a doctor and, they say, look what you got, it's on an x-ray, it's on a test, or just the opposite. We can't find anything, but there's something wrong. You want them to find something. But what's so important is understand that all physical problems, where they can see them in a test or not see them, there's a cause that's non-physical. This is so important if you get anything. So the simplest thing to do is, if no matter what you have, you got this thing right here, it's on the x-ray, it's on the MRI, or it's in the blood test, is what, ask the doctor this question. Doc, what caused that? And don't let up. Say, Doc, what caused that? And they'll go, well, and I give you some scientific thing. Okay, well, what caused that? Well, because your boat is broken. And well, what caused that? And what caused that? Until they come up with one of 2 answers, because it's always going to be 1 or 2 answers from a medical doctor. Those 2 answers, if you keep on asking what causes it, they're going to say, we don't know. That's answer number 1. So if they don't know what's causing it, then how can they treat it and get you well? Ever. Won't happen. Your problem's not caused by a lack of pills or a lack of surgery, a lack of radiation. Your problem is caused by something else. Now, likewise, all your other problems are caused by the same thing too. Relationship issues, money, business, your self-esteem, the whole 9 yards of who you are, and what your life is all about. There's one cause. It makes it really simple. I'm going to elaborate on this one cause because it has some facets to it. But what's the other answer the doctor will give you? If they don't say we don't know, then the other answer is the truth. Well, stress. Just that little, what? 6-letter word, stress. But what is stress? Stress is not an external thing. It started out external, perhaps, but it is internalized stress. In other words, everything that's ever happened to you in your life, everything you've heard, everything you've seen, everything you've witnessed, experienced, had happened to you, you know, that car accident, that whack on the butt with the strap, the dad or the stick or whatever it was, all of that goes into subconscious memory, subconscious memory. So that's so important. So you asked me, how did I get into what I did? And what I found myself, by the time I graduated from chiropractic college, I was crippled and walked with a cane as I started to sing in the song. And I had all these tests that showed me that I had this real physical problem. But the thing is before that physical problem, I didn't have that. So what created it? It was the buildup of stress through my life, and then finally stress that was ongoing in my job, going to school at 6 a.m. in the morning, leaving school at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, long classes, you know, and then working full time in a very stressful job, all of that stuff. Then my diet wasn't correct, and I was working in a very smoky place, so cigarettes were allowed inside of buildings back then. That's right. And so all that toxicity, but that's another type of stress. Trauma stress, traumatic stress, toxicity stress, electromagnetic stress, it's all stress. I said I would elaborate on that word. And then we have something called epigenetic stress, and we're going to talk all about this in this class, but really what you can do about it, yay, that's the best part, right? Is epigenetic stress, and that's the stress that when we're a little baby and our parents, let's say, are fighting, or mom's home alone, feeling alone while dad's out, you know, all that negative energy from mother and father, that energy goes into us and programs us, kind of like Wi-Fi. Or in your laptop, it's on Wi-Fi, right? But you're getting the messages, right? But it's not connected. That's how it is. Your mother and father, your family doesn't, you know, wires directly in there, but the energy is connected, and we're all energy beings having a physical experience. We communicate through energy. Great example of that is you're thinking about a friend, and suddenly they call you. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Wow, how did that happen? You sent a message to them, they sent a message to you, and you're already communicating in the energy waves. This is all proven science. Your body was made by a morphogenic field. That's what it's called in the medical books. Morphogenic field, an energy field. That's where all the information is that built your body. That's where all the information is that, you know, your mind, it's outside you. It translates with your brain and every cell of your body, but the mind is everywhere. But it's outside, inside energy. And then we're just accessing that different information. Survival information is primary. You got to survive those bears and tigers in the world. Otherwise, you know, things are not going to get too good. If you're eaten by a bear, that's it. That's the end. Like that. Back in one day, you know, we had bigger and badder animals and bears and tigers. Yes, we did. And and you know, we had to be really like aware of what was coming at us. But today, your thoughts and feelings, they become the bears and tigers, the stresses, marriage, work, money, no matter where you are on the echelon of so-called material wealth and success, we all have stress. We all have stress. You know, I've treated billionaires for PTSD. Okay, so no one's free in this third dimensional, fourth dimensional world, 3, 4D. We live in this multidimensional universe, and that's where we've been stuck. We are at a time to move this energy upward so we can be at a different level. And perhaps we'll have time to talk about that. But right now, I've been going for a while. What would you like to, so I was going to ask Baylan, where we should go from here in her questions for me.
I think that's really good thank you so much for giving us, number one, your story. I didn't know all of that. Oh my goodness. And look at you today. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it. And number two, to give us that understanding of stress and energy, how you go through different layers. When I talk to people and teach them about the Dreammaker Matrix, that is the way that the energy ripples out. It gets more and more dense, and then it gets lighter again. But,
Hopefully.
oh yeah, hopefully it does. Yes. Through space and time, yes.
Yeah.
So that's really good foundational information for people who are listening, especially if they haven't heard that particular progression, right?
Yeah.
Because that, when people say, oh, it's all in your mind, in a way, that's true, right?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it used to be like the doctor would say, oh, what it's psychosomatic. And you get mad. No, it's got to be something. Well, no, they told you the truth. We just didn't like the answer. And actually, that was the doctor's excuse for him not knowing what it was to blame the patient. So we've had epigenetic stress through generations. It's got to be something other than me causing it. But here's the good news. If you caused your problem, that's solvable. That's the good news. You just got to do something different than you've been doing. That's right. Even if you've chosen alternative modalities, because we love acupuncture, we love chiropractic, we love functional medicine, naturopathic, and many other modalities, massage and so forth, and body work and soft tissue rehab, and all these things with physical therapy, wonderful. However, the thing that controls your cells is the mind. And that's why I call it soul to cell healing, because the healer is in the energy field, in the soul. But if we poke holes in it with all this stress, just imagine we have this energy field here and we got a little, hole punch for the field, now you're bleeding out all that energy. And then it's filled in with all these stresses. And then those energies, those negative energies, manifest as physical. So we have the energy, and energy, if it changes from, let's say, into some fear, that fear stimulates the mind-body complex into this survival mode to fight the bears, the tigers, or bigger things in life. And those things are going in memory, we're reacting to them. So our subconscious is always thinking, survival. What does that mean? And what do I do? What does that mean? And what do I say? What does that mean? How do I react to it? If they give us a flower, hopefully we'll go, oh, that's so sweet. But some people hand a flower and they go, get that thing away from me. Gotta have, it might have pesticide, it might have insecticide, it might be, I'm allergic. Everyone's responses could be different to the same thing. So what are you responding to? That's what I want to ask your audience. What are you stuck in? What situation in the past? What big stress are you that's still running you? Getting yelled at as a kid, maybe physically or mentally or sexually abused. Did you fall off the roof and boom? Are you still reacting to falling off the roof and then going, I hope Dad doesn't catch me? No, he didn't see me, but we're worrying about it. So that goes in there too. So the worry about getting caught because we weren't supposed to be on the roof in the first place. All those thoughts and feelings go into subconscious memory and they run our life. They run our choices, our decisions, who we marry, who we don't, why we fight, why we suppress our feelings. And these hurt us. They separate us from our heart. And that's the worst part. They separate us from being who we truly are. And I want to let everyone in the audience know you are wonderful greatness. You were created with perfection and a purpose and a mission for this life. And the stress is interfering with that purpose and that mission. The mind can't solve it. That's the problem with going to personal development seminars. Rah, 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 go, 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 pump yourself up, get going, get going. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yes. And that lasts about 2 weeks, and then it's back to same old. Or you're one of the 5% that actually make that stuff work and push through it, and you do it. But at the other end of the cycle, you still haven't dealt with the real problem, which is inside yourself. And that's why the title of this was what? How is the title? About your health?
Three secrets to activate your power to heal your body, emotions, and life prosperity.
Thank you. So that's what we want, right? Health, happiness, success, prosperity. We have to be in our purpose. We have to get out of our head and into our heart, because in there is where it lies. But most of us have been so traumatized, our hearts are shut down. We've been hurt. We've been betrayed, abandoned. We feel guilt and shame, so we close down. We have fears of rejection, and we get rejected once we have the fear, right? We get rejected. We feel separated from other people. Then we have that denial part of us. Who, me? It couldn't be me. Got to be them, right? And there's other ways to do denial too, denying that you're sick, denying that you're successful, denying, you can deny anything for that matter, good, bad, or otherwise. And then, those are the key ones. They're all victim-oriented. They're all victim-oriented. And everybody knows, I'm not a victim. If we're ever hurt in any way, and that goes into memory, we're running a victim program. And everyone is running them. It doesn't matter how poor or rich, everybody's running them. We just have different ways of dealing with things. So the key is to understand that our health issues and our health problems are caused by these stressors. And if we resolve the stress, remember these three things, we have to resolve the stress to have health, better, more wealth, aligned with our purpose, embody more love. We have to resolve the cause. We have to resolve the stress, and that has to be resolved on 3 levels. So those 3 levels are, you have to get it out of the cellular memory, the subconscious memory, and the soul body memory. When we remove the stress from all 3 levels at the same time, then we can get to the second part, which is integrating the mind and the body and the soul. Stresses are like the swords in a lady in the box, the magician's box, the swords, we've seen that, she can't get out of the box. She can't heal from all the swords. We got to pull them out. So then our body has an automatic response to heal. So we have to remove that stress, and then we have the ability to heal. And then we have to integrate the mind and the body and the soul so we can be whole and not separate. We need to be whole within ourselves, connected to source, the creative source energy. And then the third thing is we need to embody higher levels of consciousness. Then our life runs differently. Because if you just patch yourself up, get a surgery, have that gallbladder removed, well, you haven't got rid of the anger and the resentment that caused it. And now you got scar tissue, and now your body can't neutralize acid in your body, because that's one function of the gallbladder. It takes and holds on to minerals that are alkalizing minerals, that alkalize help you digest. So, you lose a lot of function. So no one's ever healthier when they have an organ removed. They're always sicker. They might not have the pain, but you have that, and everything can heal. I hear doctors all the time say, this thing's not going to heal. We got to have it out. We got to cut it off. And I can give you a few great stories in just a moment, as soon as I drink. Good. How are we doing?
Well, it's wonderful because you're really explaining to us all the backstory of how we can be our own healers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The power to heal is in you, but if you haven't accessed it, then you need some help. And it's not, that's a good thing. We just need to work with the right person that's going to help you to heal. All right. A lot of people go, it's not like something I can do on my own. And that's the lie of this society. Can you do anything? Can you make a baby on your own? Impossible. Well, I just go to the doctor and he'll just, implant it and everything like that. I don't need a man. Well, you did. He might not know who he is, but you needed the guy with the sperm at the sperm bank and the doctor to insert it and the group of people that took it out and put it and froze it and unfroze it. You had a whole team there to get pregnant. You had more people there than just you. Come on over here. Let's have a baby. All right. So we don't do anything on our own. And we're not supposed to. We're not lone people. We're meant to be in a community, a world community, sharing, serving each other, loving each other, taking care of each other. I realize in this third dimensional space, it's about pain and suffering and existence. But that third thing I'm talking about is about raising your consciousness to a higher dimensional energy, to a fifth dimensional energy and above. And that's where we have creativity, light, love, joy. That's a regular experience for us, rather than all this stress and tension down below here. So if you want to solve your problems, whatever they be, relationship, if you want to do better in business, we've got to align with our heart and clear out the stress from the three levels: physical, mental, emotional, energy levels. And we need to embody the higher frequencies, which are also part of us because we have a lower soul where our mind is, lower soul, body, mind, complex. And that's just a survival system. And then you have the higher levels of self that are your God levels, your that connection to God, to light, to love, to all the beauty that we are, all the beauty that we were created with. It's there. It's our job to access it. And it's very challenging to do that with either without a divine intervention or a purposeful divine intervention. That's what I specialize in, is purposeful divine interventions, because I communicate with your higher soul, connect with that, help bring that through your body, and help you to resolve in a formatted healing technique that I've taught to hundreds of doctors and practitioners to repeat the process with other people so we can help more people in the world, because I can't do it all by myself. I love training people to do the healing on others, and sometimes I get doctors and practitioners to do it. And sometimes I have like a husband and wife says, this sounds like a really cool thing. Let's learn that. We can do it with each other. We can keep upgrading ourselves. Fantastic. That's wonderful. I love that. I mean, it wasn't my wife, but my best friend. Both he and I learned this, and we work on each other for the last over 35 years, working on our stresses, our marriages, our divorces, our self-esteem, raising up to be better people. I think that's what it is. And to embody our gifts that are our divine gifts and our divine purpose, and share them with love. And love is present time consciousness. Really being present. And how amazing it is when someone is that present with you. That's when we feel loved, right? If we're not, we don't feel that love. And so most people aren't even present with themselves. They're not even in their body. That's one of the first things I check on people. Do they even recognize their body? Do they recognize who they are? Do they recognize if they're a man or a woman? You think this is like, well, it should be. But 9 out of 10 people I check on one of those three things, they're not, because stress has made them not in the body, not feeling good about being a man or a woman, and themselves, their own identity. Why? Because that was the body and the kid and the name, whatever it is. For me, it was Doug, right? Or Dougie. As I was getting beat up by the kids, I was Dougie. Or my parents yelling at me, Douglas. boom, you knew you were in trouble. So, we tend to disassociate, and we just get used to that. But that's what our dis-ease is, this disassociation between ourselves, between our mind, between our emotions, between our family, and all that stuff can be healed. When we do that and we heal on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and the soul spirit levels, then our life can change and transform. So some stories. I had a woman who wanted to get pregnant. She had 2 in vitros, and she's only 28 years old. She was healthy. They just couldn't figure out, why isn't she having a baby? She came to me. It took me 15 minutes to figure it out. Just talking with her, helping reconnect the energies to all the different parts of her body that weren't working energetically. But bottom line was, when she was born, I said, that's when the stress is, because the body tells me what's going on with you. If you don't know, it's okay. That's what doctors like myself trained in my work do. I tapped in, and what was it? Her father left. I'm sorry to laugh. Her father left when she was born, the day she was born. When her sister got pregnant, that was all good. When she had the baby, her sister's husband left her on the day the baby was born. So now there's 2 strikes. If I have a baby, my husband's going to leave me, but it's all unconscious. She has no idea. So I cleared the trauma with her father leaving and the sister's husband leaving, and reprogrammed the brain to the positive. When babies are born, husbands love me, love the baby, stay, and have an amazing life together. A month later, she's pregnant. That's right.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Ensuring future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, my back was out because, my parents were perfectionists and they wanted me to be perfect. So I tried to do everything perfect. And the stress of trying to do everything perfect just stressed me out till I had herniated discs and hypoglycemia and migraines and everything else. Perfectionism. Of course, it did help me build and figure out a really cool technique that works every time and help thousands and thousands of people. So that's good news. And I just got over my perfectionism as far as the stress to be perfect, and just realize that that's the higher aspect of who we are, is perfect. And then we just do our best. But it's more than a mind thing. Oh yeah, I'm just going to do my best. Now that's the mind speaking. When the heart's just being present, we're not even thinking. It's not a thinking thing. Thinking's over. You're just embodied, and you're just resonating with the love. And that's a cool place to be. God, so many stories. I have
So 3 secrets.
3 secrets. 3 secrets. Well, I thought we talked about those. The secrets are, you got to find the stress that's bothering you, and then we have to let go of that stress.
Yes.
We have to let go of it on all 3 levels. Energy medicine, or the quantum healing work I do called cellular resonance technique, takes that out. So that's one. But the first thing is if you can recall, before your problems all began, what was the big stress? Then we need to forgive that stress. We need to let it go. We have to let it go from the cells, the mind, and the soul. Body, mind, soul. So we have to let it go. Forgiveness is all about doing that. Now, forgiveness is not a mind process. That's why people go, well, I forgave. Yeah, and you still got your problems, don't you? Because you didn't forgive on all 3 levels. That's the key. So the forgiveness has to be a more powerful, loving frequency than the negativity that went in. 2, you have to get out of fear, and the opposite, which is love, is also another frequency called faith. You have to have faith that things can be different. And faith has no fear in it. It has no movement of, well, maybe not. No, it is 100% faith. You think when David was on his way to fight Goliath, he had some I don't know if I can get this. I don't know. This guy's like 20 feet tall and I'm just a kid, because he was just a kid, like 12 years old. How is he going to do that? As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I know not fear. All right. I'm not trying to get religious. It's just a cool story, right? The Old Testament has a bunch of old stories. I love that one. Knows no fear. He was telling you right there, you have to have faith. Absolute knowing, I'm getting well. When you have that, the right healer shows up, the right doctor, the right practitioner, maybe even some divine intervention. But remember, it's all divine intervention. The person that you discover, that's the divine intervention. It's like, you've heard of being in the right place at the right time. That's divine intervention. We just have to listen, like the old story about the man who heard on the radio, flood's coming. He goes, okay, and the house starts filling up with water. And he goes, I better go up to the next floor. He goes to the next floor, it fills up with water. Then he climbs up on the roof. And now it's just like one big lake around him, and he is on a roof of his house. He's praying to God, please save me. And a boat drives by, a little speedboat, and says, hey, we have room, hop on. He says, no, God's going to save me. And then the boat goes, okay, then zip off. A guy in a canoe saying, hey, I got room for one more person in this canoe. And the guy goes, no, God's going to save me, And then the rescue squad literally went, something like that. We're throwing you a life preserver, jump in. And they said, no, God's going to save me. He drowns. Meets God, says, God, where were you? He said, I sent 3 boats. So, we have to, listen. So that's another secret. We have to listen to the signs. So one, we need to ask the right questions and be willing to receive the right answers, the knowing, receive the solution that's coming into your world. And that's for everything. All right. And sometimes it's really a fast one. Boom, decide, boom, this way, that way, or something you think about for a while. But that is vital. If we're going to change our lives, if we're going to heal, we got to learn to ask better questions, receive the answers, have faith in knowing that what you want to create, Steve Jobs, did he have faith that he was going to make a computer? Yeah. I'm going to make a computer. So I was like, Thomas Edison, make a light bulb. Was there anything such thing as it? No, there was never a light bulb, right? But he was like, I'm going to make it. 10,000 tries later, he said he had 10,000 failures, right? But he finally, on the 10,000th try, more or less, I'm sure he didn't count them, but close. And this is what we have to do in life. We know these things deep down, but we're just reiterating it. But there is a way to get well. And there isn't anything that can't get better. I've seen people with terminal illnesses, boom, find the cause, that stress with their mother, that stress with their dad, that stress with that con man who took down your company, still going on. Sometimes it's the ex, that divorce, that whatever it is, it's time. You have to realize, when is the time to heal? The time is always now, always now. So time is now to change our lives. Why? Because that's what we're here to do in each and every moment, is to evolve, We have to evolve from fear to love, from fragmentation of the brain, nervous system, and a fragmented life, to wholeness, and from separation, feeling separate, lost, alone, to oneness, to reconnect with all that we are. As we do that, that God energy, that creator energy, whichever word you'd like better, that's able to run through us, this creative source energy, and heal us. It's always there. It's always there. So it's just a matter of choice. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. If you keep on being a naysayer, your life will be the same. If you open up and say, to a new possibility, but you should ask, right possibility. Yeah, I'm asking for the right way that's going to heal me in my life. And then health gets better, happiness begins to occur in life rather than the up and downs of I'm happy today. Well, maybe I need a little help with a shot or two or three or beer. Just water, but here we go. You understand. A lot of people say, I'm happy. Yeah, as long as you have that beer in your hand or a little cannabis. But I'm talking about from the inside out. That's the key. You have to heal that level and ask for the right help. And those are the keys to begin that true path to healing. In fact, I'm going to share it as my little ending here. Our lives are about giving and receiving love and serving from our heart. That's what we're all here to do. Now, you get to do it in a unique way, whatever that way is for you, because we all have unique talents and abilities. Some people are great speakers. Some people are great diplomats. Some people are great cooks, right? Some people are great with like putting rivets on things, and building buildings. And hey, great, you made a place for people to live and work, right? Contractors, whatever it is. But your purpose is how you do it, how you interact, how we be with people and with ourselves, not on those outside things. Those are just part of what we do in the world, but who we be is so important. So it's always be first, and then we be and we do our things through what we be, and then we have as a resultant what that is. And you can have a lot of stuff by taking advantage of people and I take it like that, but you're going to miss the point of this life. All right, you'll have a do-over. many do-overs. We're all doing do-overs, but how about this one be the one where we really get it? Really get it.
We've got do-betters.
Yeah, do-betters.
Do-betters, not do-overs. Let's not do the same thing over again. Let's do better this time. Let's do better.
Exactly. Exactly. So life is but a journey to discover what we thought we had forgotten, but we never have. Our ability to receive and to give and to receive love unconditionally. And the path to all true healing, true health, true success is the journey from fear to love, from the cell to the soul. That's what it is. And if you can get that and really take that in, then you begin to evolve very rapidly, heal, and live the life you were meant to live. And that's what I really want from everybody, for everyone. To live the life you were really born to live that true purpose with joy and happiness and ease and grace. It can happen. So it took a lot of work to drive your health, happiness, and success down here. Doesn't matter how much you make. Success is like the success of life, right? And a lot of people are like up here and what it looks like success, but they feel like a failure here. You only see the outer side, but deep inside they feel alone or lost or empty or unfulfilled. And that's not okay. And that can change. And this can come up here, and then everything will even up and even move over to here, to here, to here, to here. These are not height things. They're just different places on the screen. Because oftentimes people are just in the wrong place. You have people who are, I know one person, very famous person, who had big songs, big hits, all that kind of stuff, and they ended up moving back home to Australia and being a therapist, a hypnotherapist, and helping people change. Why? Because they wrote that song, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, Watch Me March Across the Floor, right? Beautiful song. And then she realized, I need to help women do that. So she opened up a women's healing center, Helen Reddy, in Australia, and for the rest of her life, that's what she did. She lived off all that song stuff, all those, what do you call those things? Royalties, that's it. Like that, and then helped people. We're all here to serve. She got it. She got it on that level. And maybe she didn't get things on other levels because she had a lot of trauma in her life. and we know that. And she did die of an illness, so she didn't get it cleared out, but she was on the path to helping people, and that she got that message. So what messages are coming to you that you've been ignoring? What messages have you been putting off? It's time to take a new look at those things, and just know anything can heal. Cancer can heal, chronic pain can heal, Lyme can heal. You know, my brother-in-law, quick story, not brother-in-law, I call him my husband-in-law. My ex-wife, and her husband are two of my very best friends, all right? And I'm also their doctor, all right? We just weren't a great couple being married, but we're always great friends. So, you know, you change, change partners. And she met Paul right away. And I came back from one of my trips around the world and teaching. And I saw him walking down the hallway, so slow and weak and skinny and gray. And I said, what happened to you? And he says, fighting Lyme for 6 months. I said, you ready to get better? He said, yeah. I said, want some help? He said, yes, I want help. And I happened to keep a massage table at their house so I can treat them and my kids. So I took it out right there in the kitchen, and we worked on him for a few hours a day for a couple of days. And on the 4th day, he was up in the mountains, hiking, happy, active, strong, good color. Emotions, the stress of a business, the stress of an old cult leader that was still in his body, stress of an old girlfriend in his body, some lawsuits, you know, because he was pretty successful in business. And so, you know, this attracts, and anybody who's like, you know, I talked to one billionaire, he said, just take 10% of your income, put it aside for attorneys, because when you're making a lot of money, they're going to come after you. Right? So we helped him heal that. And, you know, that quickly. So his body changed. We had to get his immune system to turn on. We had to get the inflammation system to take the inflammation out. And we had to resolve that stress that was changing the way his cells showed up. Remember, if your cell is supposed to look like this nice circle, you have a stress, it changes to look like that. A doctor will say, that's a genetic. See, you got a genetic defect. No, you just changed the way that your genetics, your DNA responds. So, and from this to this, that stress, boom, is sitting right there on there. But we remove the stress and heal that on all 3 levels, boom, the body just restores it to its natural state, because it's part of who you are. You have an innate healing system, and it's always there to heal. You know, you just have to what? Want to. Back to you, Baylan.
Whoa. You're going to have a lot of people wondering, oh, what could I have done? You know, the thing that came up as you were talking was, okay, this is beautifully empowering. This is such clarity and awesome. I love to, I mean, I've experienced one of your sessions and it was mind-blowing, you know, and cleared a lot of stuff really fast. But the thing that was coming up was, you know, well, when people find out or realize that they have been making choices or things have happened to them that have just kind of piled on, the self-blame can come up. What I could have stopped this, I didn't have to do this, or what could I have done if I had stepped into my power or my clarity sooner, or if I had embraced being my own healer and not looked for other people to handle it. The self-blame would get in the way, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And there's where, you know, we have to forgive ourselves, but we have to be sincere. And the forgiveness has to go all the way to the cellular level to unlock it from the body to heal. It has to go right into the mind and unlock the mind to let go of that pain and replace it with love. And it needs to clear this energy field and change it. I had a woman at a corporation that I treated it just as an example. And she was only 20 years old, beautiful beautiful woman, and put her down on the table, balance her out, touch a few points. And I heard this, I never heard this before. I heard this noise. It was like this pop, and everyone in the room heard it. And I knew what it was. It's what I just did, that noise you heard, that noise. I'm creating a vacuum with my chin and my fingers. And in that vacuum, when I release the vacuum, it makes a noise. Your energy field is the same way. It's like a vacuum. And when the hole in the field closes really fast, boom, it could make a noise. And I've heard this more than once, but probably like that many times. Out of 500,000 people, like 5 times. But it's there. Sometimes it's just not audible, but 5 times or so, maybe 6, it was audible. And we heard that. And I went, something's going to heal. She called me a month later and says, my Crohn's disease totally healed from those 10, 15 minutes you spent with me. We had found the cause, cleared it out of the field, out of the cells, out of the subconscious. I ran a particular energy through her body that her body needed, and boom. Well, so everything's possible. And I do this with people. I do this with people with their businesses. You know, I need to get to the next level of my business. I have these things happen. It's all this stress here, and I want to go to the next level. And I want to, and I've helped people make millions, but do it from the heart, reorganize their company, hire a new CEO to take their place. And then they started some other companies. So they give them a chance to, like, boom, got that one going. It's going up like that. Now I can start another one to move up. Some people are better at doing that than others. But there was something in the way, and it was just the energy of his parents and the way they interacted energetically that he picked up on. So it wasn't even his. Got to understand that a lot of your problems aren't even yours, but they're in you. Now it's time for you to clear it out. If you're carrying, somebody else's backpack, you can say, it's not mine, but until you take it off, you're carrying it. So you gotta let that go. And so I help people figure out what it is and let it go. Other times, things happen, and it wasn't that you were like trying to think negative or anything like that. I just worked on a man who his shoulder just grinds. He's in his 70s, grinds, and it hurts, and it's just all unstable. And they want to do some sort of shoulder surgery on him, which is not really a good idea because it doesn't really work. But I worked with him for about not even 10 or 15 minutes max in front of a group of people when I was just in Dallas. And I traced it to his lungs. I said, it's really your lung, which is grief. So then there's a grief that's 16 years ago. And I cleared the grief, brought happiness, was the energy to resolve the grief. And boom, his shoulder stopped grinding. All the strength came back. The pain was gone. And he just looked and went like, you're right. 16 years ago, my wife got sick and died. So it's his grief. I mean, we're human. We do have these feelings, but the grief, which is fine, it's okay. It's not okay for it to get stuck in the body for 16 years. Okay, so in a few minutes, we could get that cleared. And now he's going to fly out here, and we're going to help him more on the next thing and the next thing, and just clear the whole line of interference that's going on with that person. So whatever's going on with the person, that's what I specialize in. And this is what I train other people to do. So I think you're going to put a link with this video, with this podcast?
Yes, we will.
For people. So there'll be a link to get some free stuff. And then there's a link to join my webinar, which is at the May 26th. If you listen to this after May 26th, then just email me and we'll give you a recording to listen to. But it's all about quantum healing mastery, the 3 mastery keys, and how people can learn my work, primarily designed for doctors and health and healing practitioners, psychologists, etc., who want to learn how they can clear these stresses out of the person and set the body into its own healing, the mind in its own healing, the emotions to heal, in a very rapid way and eloquent way, because you have to integrate the mind, the body, and the soul for it to be to move up into a higher consciousness, into a higher state of life, that we and embody the true self and master ourselves. So I love teaching people that, and the more people I can train, then the more people we can help in the world. And like I said, sometimes just lay people who say this would really be cool to learn and do on my family when they know, and maybe have my best friend learn it so we can do it with each other. And it does take some practice to get good, but I'm here to help people. Oh, I can't believe this. This is so exciting. I'm on the computer, and we have things, and when people text you, my computer's hooked up to my phone, and I've been working with a woman who's wanting to change her career. And so when I started with her, she didn't know what that change would be. First of all, she didn't know where she was going to go in her life. Like, what's next? Is pandemic and my business and the things that she was doing in one field, which is not coming to me what it was, but what she decided to do is she met someone while I was working with her. Oh, we cleared out her marriage that was very abusive. And then her self-esteem went up, her depression went away, her anxiety went away. She was really excited about that. So she got better physically and emotionally. And all of a sudden she goes, I want to do something new to make more money and be more successful. And it's just, I feel like there's something here. And immediately she met a man, or someone she actually knew already, who said, I'm going to take you under my wing in mortgage brokering. Because mortgage brokers can be very, can make a lot. I have many patients who are mortgage brokers. And she scared to death, though. It's all new material. She's 50 something years old, hasn't been at school for a long time. It's a little tougher for the brain and mind to take those tests, right? And so I was clearing, I can't even get the information to go in. I won't stick and I won't stay there. So she come in, I clear her on not being able to learn and not being able to remember, and her fear about taking the tests and all that stuff, right? Well, what just came across my screen right now is she just says, I passed my test. I love it. I get those texts every day from people, and I work with so many people, like you said, you gave that whole list type of people that I see. I see famous people and and CEOs and and celebrities, and it's just nice, just regular person, right? I love everybody, to help everybody at every echelon that wants help.
And I
And
especially love that you're teaching it to other people so that other people can learn to do it. So that's your ripple. That's a big ripple, right? Being able to
yeah,
have it go out to the world.
yeah, I'd love millions upon millions and millions of people to not be suffering.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to reach a billion people.
Wow, what a gift.
I need help. I need help to do that. I need to train more people to do that, and to dedicate themselves to this process I call cellular resonance, where the cells resonate with the soul. The soul is the healer. Always been that way, always be that way. We got to get the two to resonate together and reconnect. And as they reconnect it, what does it do with the mind? It dissolves the mind into the soul. And that way we can be a personality. You can be Baylan, I can be Doug, but we can be the soul, the higher soul aspect of who we are, and communicate and love and be with people in a very new and different way. And that way is the way that we were. This is the path that we're here to do. And really every spiritual practice, religion, all talks about this. It's time, after thousands of years, we actually go, oh, I need to do that. All right. And really heal those things. So there you go.
All right. Wow. Deep, deep drink here from the well.
Yes. Talk about drinking.
Thank you so much, Dr. Doug.
My
It's
pleasure. My
phenomenal the
pleasure.
work that you're doing, and we're blessed that you're making it available to the world, not only through you, but through thousands of other practitioners who can, who don't even have to have a medical degree to be able to do this.
Yes.
That's the gift. It can be anyone. So, any last thoughts before I ask you the final question?
Any last thoughts? Follow me on social media. see where we're going, because we are producing a television show for massive change for people who want to be change makers, and we're gonna definitely be promoting out there to have people on our show to do healing in front of millions of people, because I like doing this in front. I like people watching.
That's
watching
exciting.
people get well right before their eyes, and seeing those everyday miracles, because that's what I specialize in, is everyday miracles. I mean, it's there, just right there. It only takes a nudge from fear to love, but you have to be willing to go on that path. And what's that one thing you're going to do? You said before you do what, Baylan?
Before I do what?
Yeah, you said do you have one more thing to share before I?
Before I ask the final question.
Yeah, final question.
Okay, final question is, if you could speak to all the leaders in the world and you knew that they would listen to you and they would take it to heart and possibly even act on what you say, what would you tell them?
Yeah, resolve your fear. Resolve your fear that you don't have enough. Resolve the control, your need to be, Machiavellian in power. It's time that we have leaders who lead us with love and from the heart. And that means with truth, real truth with a capital T, not the little truths that are really lies that we've been told by most leaders. And, people are done with that. We're going to a new consciousness, with or without you. We're going there. We are, because higher heals lower, and this is where we're going. And it is the path at this time. And if you want to lead, then you need to change. You need to transform. And this goes with our CEOs. So important. We have to lead our companies differently. And you're the lead energy, and that energy trickles all the way down, and it trickles right down into our bottom line. It trickles into our stocks, doing whatever they do, and all that kind of stuff. And you start resolving your stuff, and you start leading with a new energy, a new higher energy that trickles down into your company, and you will see success that's unfathomable. You'll just go like, how is this happening? The creativity and the new ideas and the new ways to lead your company to healthier products, the products that don't pollute the environment, like whatever you're producing right now. Things will change so rapidly, it will just blow your mind. And that's the first thing we need to do. We kind of need to change our mind and have it blown to a whole new level. And it's exciting, because you know what? It's fun to lead from that place. It's not, just being in leading from fear. It's a miserable existence. That's why, we think, oh, more will be better, make more money, suppress people more, whatever you're doing. And then there's plenty of CEOs, I'm talking to obviously the ones who want to change, you're good people, but our stuff, I'm a good person 30 years ago, 40 years ago, but I had all those problems because I had all that pain and suffering in me. So it's about really dissolving this stuff, your divorce, the disconnect with your kids, the need to be in control. That's a big one for a lot of us guy thing. And then, the wounded masculine and women, and the women CEOs, if you're leading with the wounded masculine, that's not your true power source. You got to lead with the divine masculine. Men need to lead with the divine masculine. Pardon me. Women need to lead with the divine feminine, men with the divine masculine. And then we're in balance. And we have to be in balance with our own masculine and feminine selves, which we all have. Doesn't matter if you're man, woman, or what your sexual orientation is. We all have masculine and feminine wounded energy, and we have to access, we need to heal this and move up to the divine masculine feminine energy. And that's what I would say, lead from that divine feminine, divine masculine place and help us change the world. You'll be more profitable. You'll have less losses, a lot less, because you want to know what? I can tell you a secret for all those people who run companies. All that work comp stuff, people are unhappy with their jobs. People who are just doing what they're being told, micromanage whatever's happening to them, and they just are sick of it. So they're sick and tired, and then they get sick and tired. And then they file for work comp and all that disability and all those things. And we start leading from this new energy, that will change in the company. And if you put a wellness program that helps those who have some difficulty, because the other reason that they're going to be sick and have work comp is their divorce, their family, their losses, their own stresses at home. So we help them, support them on that within themselves, and then they'll serve better and even more dedicated. You know, I know a lot of companies a long time ago was like, we got to get, our mission statement. Everybody's saying that. People need to say their own mission statement on what their mission is, and then integrate that to help the company. But they need to be healed. So you start at top level, top down healing. That's what I would say. Heal the top, executive team, management team, everybody else. And guess what? You're going to be more profitable. Everyone's going to have more fun. That's going to be a really cool place. And you're going to create a culture, a new corporate culture. And it's really exciting. It's a different place to live, different place to be. Now, my CEO that I work with, he got a CEO running his company now, and he's living down in Mexico on the beach, running 2 other companies from there. and he married his dream girl. He said, Dr. Doug, you got me my dream girl. That was one of the things we worked on. He wanted his dream girl, and he said, I want to have a couple kids too. He got those immediately. So maybe a little longer answer, a little bit more detailed answer than leaders should do this. No. So I elaborated, but that's me. I elaborate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So much. I mean, I'm going to have to listen to this several times because there's so much in here.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for being so generous with your time and your guidance and your wisdom and with the work you're doing in the world.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on your summit, your podcast, your thing. You're doing wonderful work in the world, and that's why I wanted to help, because you really want to get the word out to people on how they can be better, more successful, more healthy, and contribute in a way that really makes a real difference. You can feed a man a fish today. That's great, and we should do that. But we should also help people to learn to fish. And the best way to learn to fish is to be whole, healthy, happy, evolved people. And then we can, like they say, when you get in the airplane, put the oxygen on, do the healing on yourself. Your inner game, as T. Harv Eker says in The Millionaire Mind, your inner game determines your outer game. You got to really get that inner game changed. And what you do is you got to clear out the negativity and the stress that may even be generations in your family. And I won't give you a story on that one, but I have many on that one, because I know it's time for us.
We'll do that on another.
Yes.
Really, yeah. I mean, really, just to talk about the generational piece of it is huge. So we'll have a talk about that.
All right.
Again, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. This has been Global Dream Makers Leadership Summit for Spring 2022. And our guest has been Dr. Doug Lehrer, who you can find at drdougLehrer.com. And he has a webinar that he's holding, and, go to it. It's drdougLehrer.com/webinar. I bet you.
The webinar is https://www.quantum Quantum Healing Mastery. So it's the https, and then //www.quantumhealingmastery.com/webinar.
There we go.
And then
Okay.
you can sign up for the free webinar, and I'm going to go deeper into how to do this healing. We're kind of more talking about it, but we're going to talk about the principles and of mastering, being a master healer, and helping people change their lives on all levels, on all those 3 levels.
There we go.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll be seeing you again soon. And thank you everyone for joining us. I'm looking forward to seeing you again at more of our talks. We've got many, many speakers in the summit here going deep, just like Dr. Doug just did. So listen to all the rest of them. All right. Thank you, everyone.